Lawrence Carter, a black pensioner, just wanted to get home in peace, but instead, he found himself at the center of a humiliating spectacle. Two subway guards, convinced he fit their worst prejudices, turned him into the star of their cheap jokes and baseless accusations. The crowd recorded it all on their phones, unaware that a moment was coming that would leave everyone breathless. They thought he was nobody. But the truth they were about to learn would shatter their sense of justice. The subway station was its usual mix of chaos and grime. People rushed past, ignoring the faint smell of damp concrete and the shrill screech of an arriving train. Among the crowd was Lawrence Carter, 72 years old, moving at his own deliberate pace. His military badge pinned to a worn coat and a small leather-bound book tucked in his pocket hinted at a life lived with purpose. But Lawrence wasn't trying to stand out. He was just heading home. Two security guards, Jason and Mark, were stationed near the turnstiles. Jason, thin and perpetually smirking, nudged his heavier, slower companion. "Yo, Mark, you see that guy? Bet he's hiding something," Jason muttered, nodding toward Lawrence. Mark squinted. "Yeah, he's got that look, you know? Like I'm totally up to no good." Jason snickered. "Exactly. Guys like him don't just walk through the subway. He's either running a scam or carrying something illegal." Lawrence, catching wind of their chatter, paused mid-step. He turned his head just enough to glance at them, his face calm but firm. His look said everything. Asterisk, really? This is what we're doing? But Jason and Mark, either too arrogant or oblivious, kept laughing. "Hey, Grandpa," Jason called out, stepping into Lawrence's path. "What's the rush? You got a hot date or something?" Lawrence straightened, adjusting his coat. His voice was calm, deliberate. "Young man, I'd advise you to reconsider how you speak to strangers." Jason wasn't having it. "Whoa, calm down, Mr. High and Mighty. We're just doing our job and you look suspicious," Mark chimed in, trying to sound professional but failing miserably. "Yeah, guys like you don't usually mean well. What's in the pockets, huh?" Lawrence sighed deeply, the kind of sigh only decades of experience could produce. "You're making a mistake. I'd suggest you let me go about my business." Jason smirked, pulling out his walkie-talkie. "Yeah, we're not doing that. We're calling it in. Standard procedure." The crowd around them began to grow curious, with murmurs and camera phones emerging. Lawrence, unbothered by the attention, stood his ground. "You're embarrassing yourselves," he said, his tone almost pitying. Jason didn't flinch. "Mark, let's search him, for the public's safety." The two began their inspection, with unnecessary theatrics, patting down Lawrence in front of the growing crowd. When Jason reached into Lawrence's coat pocket and pulled out a military badge, his face lit up like he'd just won the lottery. "Whoa, what do we have here?" Jason said loudly, holding the badge up for all to see. "Where'd you steal this, old man? Pawn shop run?" The crowd murmured in shock. Someone shouted, "That's a veteran's badge," but Jason waved it off. "Yes, sure it is, probably stolen. Let's take him in for further questioning." Lawrence, still calm but visibly annoyed, said firmly, "That badge belongs to me, I earned it." Jason laughed. "Yeah, okay, and I'm the mayor, let's go, buddy." With that, they grabbed Lawrence's arm and led him toward the holding room, ignoring the growing discontent from the onlookers. Phones continued recording, their flashlights blinking like fireflies. As they pushed him through the door, Jason grinned at Mark. "Easy catch, huh? Bet he's got a record a mile long." Lawrence, however, didn't flinch. His voice cut through their smugness like a knife. "You two have no idea what you've just done." The holding room was dim and cold, with buzzing fluorescent lights that made the tension feel thicker. Lawrence sat calmly on a metal chair, his back straight and his hands resting on his cane. Jason leaned against the wall, his smug grin plastered across his face, while Mark stood near the door, shifting nervously like he was already regretting this. Jason broke the silence first. "All right, old man, let's make this quick. Where'd you get that badge? Found it on the sidewalk or swiped it off someone's dresser?" Lawrence met his gaze, his voice steady and calm. "That badge belongs to me. I earned it, but I doubt you understand what that means." Jason scoffed. "Right, sure. Let me guess, you're some kind of war hero or something?" Mark hesitated, glancing between Jason and Lawrence. Maybe we should check his ID or something?" Jason waved him off. Relax, Mark. Guys like this always have a story. Let's stick to what we see. Lawrence sighed, the kind of deep, tired sigh that comes from years of dealing with people like them. Without a word, he reached into his coat and placed his ID on the table. Jason snatched it up, his smirk faltering slightly as he read, ***, Lawrence Carter, ***. Beside it was a veteran's card, unmistakable proof of Lawrence's service. Well, Jason muttered, trying to recover. So you're a vet, big deal. Doesn't mean you didn't pick that badge up off the ground. Lawrence tilted his head slightly, his expression unbothered. You're digging yourself deeper with every word, son. Jason ignored him, turning to Mark. Call the cops. Let's let them deal with this. Mark hesitated. I don't know, man. What if he's telling the truth? Jason glared at him. Just do it. What's the worst that could happen? Minutes later, the door swung open and the room suddenly felt smaller. A tall, commanding figure entered. Captain Michael Carter, head of the precinct. His uniform was crisp, and his eyes were sharp as he ignored the guards and walked straight to Lawrence. Dad, Michael said, his voice steady but edged with concern. Are you all right? Jason and Mark froze. Jason's smirk vanished in an instant. Wait, this is your dad? He stammered. Michael turned to the guards, his tone cold and cutting. You want to explain why you detained a retired general and decorated war veteran? Jason stuttered. We thought he stole the badge. Michael's jaw tightened. Stole? You mean the badge he earned in service to this country, the one that represents more courage than you'll ever understand? Mark tried to interject. It was just a misunderstanding. Michael didn't let him finish. No, it wasn't. You saw a black man and assumed he was a criminal. Don't even try to deny it. It's all on camera. The guards stood in stunned silence as the weight of their mistake sank in. Outside the door, murmurs and flashes from the crowd seeped into the room. The video of the scene was already making its way online. Michael turned back to Lawrence, his tone softening. Dad, do you want to press charges? Lawrence shook his head. No, son. Let the footage do the talking. They've done enough damage to themselves. Michael nodded and turned back to the guards. You've turned a routine shift into a PR disaster. Be ready to answer to me, the department, and everyone who sees this. As Michael led his father out, Jason and Mark stood frozen, their careers now dangling by a thread. The fallout started the moment Captain Michael Carter walked his father Lawrence out of the holding room. The platform was alive with whispers and flashing phones as the crowd pieced together what had just happened. Lawrence, calm as ever, moved with quiet dignity, while Michael's sharp gaze warned everyone not to get too close. Back in the holding room, Jason and Mark were frozen, the weight of their mistake settling in like a heavy fog. Jason was the first to break the silence. Man, this is bad, like really bad. Mark, now visibly sweating, shot him a panicked look. What the hell were we thinking? That's the captain's dad. Do you even get how screwed we are? Jason didn't answer. For once, his trademark smirk was gone. Meanwhile, the platform crowd was growing louder. Someone yelled, "That's Captain Carter's dad!" and the phones were out in full force. Michael turned to address the bystanders, his voice steady but firm. My father is fine, and we'll handle this matter through the proper channels. I appreciate your concern, but there's no need for further disruption. Lawrence, ever composed, added, Thank you for your support, but let's move forward with civility. This is bigger than me. But proper channels were already unraveling online. Videos of the guards humiliating Lawrence spread like wildfire, reaching every corner of social media. Outrage poured in, with hashtags like ***# veteran, respect ****, and ****# justice for Lawrence **** trending within hours. News outlets picked up the story and it quickly became a national scandal. The next day, Jason and Mark were summoned to a disciplinary hearing. The head of station security didn't sugarcoat the situation. You've embarrassed this department and sparked national outrage. Your actions were discriminatory, unprofessional, and unacceptable. Effective immediately, you are suspended without pay, pending termination. Jason tried to explain. It wasn't what it looked like, The security chief cut him off. The footage speaks for itself. You made assumptions, And now you'll face the consequences. The consequences were swift. Both guards lost their jobs and were ordered to attend sensitivity training. As part of their mandatory community service, they worked with programs assisting elderly veterans, hearing their stories and gaining a first-hand understanding of the lives they had disrespected. For Lawrence and Michael, the public response was overwhelmingly positive. Lawrence's grace and Michael's firm defense of his father struck a chord with people across the country. Lawrence was invited to speak at veteran events, where he shared his story and emphasized the importance of respect and accountability. The incident became a symbol of change, showing how quickly prejudice can spiral into disaster and how necessary it is to challenge such behavior. Jason and Mark faded from public memory, but Lawrence Carter's name remained a beacon of honor and resilience. In the end, the story wasn't just about one man. It was a reminder of what dignity, respect, and accountability should mean in society.